Alright guys, so today we are going to be trying out the J over here. So we are obviously on the JP version, and then this is what we are looking at. So custom level 18, level 189. As far as the module wise, we are using this one that scales up pretty nicely with dealing critical attacks. So for every 10, whenever we are able to land a critical hit for 10 seconds, it's going to increase our damage by 9%, able to stack up to 5 times. So it's a good equipment obviously, but for a close combat unit that is probably not going to be able to deal a lot of hit in succession, I don't know how viable the 10-second window would be, but we'll definitely see how that goes. So we will definitely see maybe a lot of fluctuation here and there, who knows. As far as the pilot, like I said again, I don't have Michelle, so I cannot really use her. So that's why we are going to be using a SR pilot. So this one actually is a pretty neat one to have. I think right off the bat we are getting a 31% melee sense, and then additionally when we pop EXQ, we get another 46, and then we do have evasion on this one. This one is for close combat, so every time when we are able to land a hit, we are able to get 25% melee sense, and then stacking up to 4 times. So some of these SRs and rares of pilot, they are actually pretty strong because they are pretty generic, so they can actually just slot onto any of your unit, no problem. But the only exception is their stat is going to be relatively low, so that is going to be the only problem. But when we are taking, like, trying to use something that is like relatively decent in comparison, I think these are definitely fine. So what we are going to do, we will probably hop into a few co-op just to see how good this unit is. Alright, so we will take a look at the Xeon co-op. So this is going to be a space map, so the J is obviously going to be suffering from the map advantage in terms of things, but I don't think it's going to matter all that much, I would say. But let's just kind of see what we are going to be able to do in here. Not bringing a healer could be a problem because if we do fall below our HP, that is not going to be good. So I think I should have probably bring in at least like a healer, so at least we can maintain our HP. But let's just kind of see. All right, so I guess we can kind of show off the sprites for the unit in game. So let's kind of go to screenshot, and this is kind of how it looks like. So all right, not bad. Let's actually pop the EXQ on first, and then we will kind of see. All right, let's just kind of make it to our speed. Okay, quickly activating the EXQ already. That's actually quite fast. I quickly don't really have any transcendent skills, so I'm kind of surprised that it's able to do that good. Okay. Alright, so we got the GPO 4, so that's gonna debuff, so that's actually pretty nice, so we'll definitely take that one. Again? That's interesting. Yeah, that's fast. Alright, we got the J right there. Alright, let's go. Alright, it's not that bad. I'll take it. I'll take it. And then we can turn that off now. So our damage right now is not looking too terrible. Okay. Yeah, it's not as bad as I imagined, I guess. Alright. Double Zeta is still performing really nice because obviously we are getting boosted by Easy 8. So I am actually cheating a little bit with that. But yeah, speaking of Easy 8, we are actually getting some critical rate or attack from that unit, so it overall it does help. So you guys can see damage wise is not looking too terrible. All right. No, it's looking good with this equipment that I have on. Yeah, it's looking relatively good. I would have to say. Oh wow, look at that. Wow, that is a really good showing. Wow, I was not expecting that. So you guys might definitely say, well, because you are using a really powerful equipment, that's why you are able to perform that good. And the other unit that I have on the roster, they are receiving the latest and the greatest equipment for them as well, or at least the one that's more applicable to them. So for this one, is obviously will work because landing critical hit. This is what this unit is able to do. So that is crazy, man. I don't think the battle report will show us the kind of like the damage that it does or letting critical attacks. So I think no, it does not. But yeah, damage output wise, it is definitely insane. So I guess we can kind of do another one. What's the timer in this one? 108, huh? Okay. I I don't know if I want to bring it into the tier 3 difficulty for this one, because I don't think it's gonna be too viable. But let me do trying to see if I can get another co-op loaded, and then we'll kind of see how it goes. Alright, I guess we can kind of end things up by taking a look at the double Zeta. So I think this one we are just gonna plow through it really quick, because this is obviously type advantage, and then we have easy as the support. So it's just gonna be a really easy run. So let's just kind of get started. And something that I forgot to mention, because in terms of the sub slot units, I am using F91 that does have a P1, so we are getting some bonus from F91. And then I believe the Gal plan that I use also is P1. So technically speaking, it's not just by itself, it's performing that good. We also do have some other units supporting, like the subside unit that is able to offer this much amount of just damage. So in this one, we can see double Zeta is actually doing roughly about the same. Like they're definitely neck and neck in terms of damage. But I guess in terms of the hit rate, it's not as bad, but I do feel like it's probably not as consistent, right? Or maybe it is, because obviously we are taking a look at it at 2 times speed, so it's decent enough, I would say. So 170, 180, yeah. This is definitely a unit that it has potential for sure. But if I were to use this unit alongside with some of the newer unit, for example, I would definitely say this unit probably would not perform as good. So I guess I can also do a comparison of that as well. So I'm gonna put this unit in alongside with some of the more recently released units. So at that point in time, we can kind of gauge what kind of difference you were looking at. So I think that will be the last testing that I'll be doing. Alright, so this is going to be the last testing. So I did mix in with some more later unit that will be releasing for global. So we have Senenju, Unicorn NTD, we have Senenju, and then we also have Mark II with on the flying armor. So I know I am using some limited units, because the other unit that I have, they weren't really upgraded yet, so I don't really have any other option. And these are the ones that I don't have any transcendency on them, so they are, I guess, quite good as far as comparison wise, except for the Unicorn NTD. That one does have a T3, so T3 shouldn't make that much of a difference anyways. But let's gonna get started. I'll definitely tell you guys that right now, Sasabi and then Senju probably may steal the showcase, because of the equipment that they have access to. It's one of the newer ones that is not tied down to the color, it's kind of tied down to the specific category. So it does make them innately better because of what they are able to do. So that's the benefit of them. So that's why I do expect both of them to just do relatively good. As far as the J so far, yeah, it's just not performing as good. So I do find this to happen a lot whenever you run multiple, you can kind of say, damage dealing unit. They usually don't quite deal the same amount of damage as they would naturally do. Like when we take a look at previously, like the J was flying through. Like we were able to bust out like a good, like a good, at least 150k above in terms of per second. But this time around, at most we were able to do only like a good 70-ish. So that's kind of unfortunate. The one we took on wasn't even type advantage in a sense, but yeah, that's the sad reality when we pair it up with like some better DPS unit. That's generally how it is. So yeah, as far as how future proof this unit is, I just cannot tell you, because it really depends on what they release per global. But I would definitely say for the time being on global, the J it should be a fairly competent unit that you shouldn't have a problem using in long-form content. I think it's definitely going to excel, right? Until we get power crept by some other unit, that's eventually going to happen for every unit. But I think overall right now it's still in a pretty safe spot, if you want to ask me. So alright, let's kind of see how long it... Oh, man, I was going to say, I was going to check how long it took us to finish that, but I think that's gonna be pretty much it. So you guys definitely see two different perspective. The first two instances were using unit that were roughly about the same, same release date in a way, and then we have the last one is using unit that are relatively newer, so you guys can definitely see, yes, it's night and day is essentially. But other than that, that is going to be pretty much it for me, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.